So, I recently saved a bee. I'm not saying that to look like a hero. I think this story gives a few helpful insights because it somewhat mirrors our own experiences. What happened? I was coming home from the gym. I was walking up the stairs and there, on the floor, was a small bee. It was really hot on this day, so the staircase was basically boiling hot. That little one was alive, but certainly drained. The bee didn't really move for a few minutes, so I decided to carefully take it to a nice, cool, shady place on the balcony and give it some water. I hoped to see it recover. As it sat there, it drank immediately. It paused for a few minutes and then got going to do important bee things. It just really needed some shade, a pause and water. Why do I tell you this? I think a lot of us want to be independent in our own project. We want to do it all alone, without help. I would even describe myself as an ambitiously hyper-independent or something along those lines. Whatever I do, I want to do it myself. Because for me, nearly nothing is as frustrating as things that work but don't work exactly like I want them to work. You feel me? I think it's somewhat easy to tell from the stories I share. Anyways, my first impulse in those situations is to say, you know what? I'll just do it myself. How hard can it be? Sometimes it turns out to be very hard and nearly impossible or way too time-consuming trying on my own. Well, there are reasons why people specialize in certain things. It's unrealistic to make everything from scratch and then being good at all of the skills needed as well. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is outsourcing stuff. So you can focus on the things you are really good at and enjoy doing. What am I good at? I think I'm good at making things pretty. I'm good at solving problems. I can be really stubborn. This can be helpful too, but sometimes it's not, right? What I'm definitely not good at is coding GDPR-compliant cookie banners. In Europe, we have certain regulations on privacy and data security. Stay with me, I promise this is important. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Basically, websites must fulfill certain criteria to comply with those regulations. Cookies themselves are harmless and needed for a lot of websites to function. But cookies are also used to give websites or businesses insight into a lot of things to show you personalized ads. In Europe, you must have the right on every website to deny those cookies. Maybe you have seen the banners on some European websites. The GDPR basically demands from websites that they receive the user's consent before any cookies are used, which is not easy to code from scratch if you are a front-end developer. Well, I can code a little bit in JavaScript, but I'm not a cookie expert and certainly not a lawyer. I can program a cookie for a language switch, I can use Google Analytics, but I can't connect it all alone to a functional deny or accept banner. I simply couldn't reliably do it myself. So I had to get help, and that's okay. Shout out to Ores Bida and his cookie consent GitHub. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And don't forget to support your open source people. You don't need to do everything by yourself. It is, in fact, allowed to ask for help. I think we are somehow scared to do that. What if they say no? What if I look incompetent? What if I'm perceived as annoying? We try to somehow do it ourselves to pull through. I'm guilty of that too. But at the same time, we might dive into a bottomless pit of complex problems we can't just solve by being stubborn. One problem leads to the next, and 1 week has passed, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and so on. I should have worked on the things I'm good at. Instead, I wasted a lot of time and energy on the things I'm not good at. It really drains all your energy, and the worst part is that you're no way near a solution. And someday, you're just like that little bee. Exhausted and drained. And the only way to get you back on track is by getting a little help, a pause, and of course, hydration. And that's why I think it's important to be kind to yourself and others.